Good evening, folks.
How's it going, Mikey? 40 Mike.
Doing well. We got Jeremy Daniels checking in. Presente.
Jeremy.
Thank you for checking in. Thank you for being here with us tonight. We are WAR. We are resilient.
Absolutely.
And this week, special week going on. We got Doug checking in now.
From Bar Studio.
Howdy,
What's going on, Doug?
Welcome. This week is a week that is all about the buddy check. So if you did not know, the VA, the American Legion, and several other great organizations out there have been running the buddy check. I'm going to throw an overlay up right now. Here's some information. On the VA's website, you can get some training. They have a pledge where you can do. We can check in with 10 of your friends that you've served with. It throws it all out in there. So on the bottom of the screen, I believe, and I don't see it scrolling, so let me fix that. Boom, there we go. So now at the bottom of the screen, you can see it. That's the link there for the buddy check. And as always, the link for OscarMikeRadio.com, where you can find Travis's work and his previous collection of episodes of Oscar Mike Radio. Hellfishhaven.org, where you can find information, resources to help you through your experience transitioning and life after the service, with whether it's gaming, whether it's getting together, just different things to put out there and share. And as you can see, each month I try to do this. I've got my calendar here. I've got the
whiteboard. Pretty full there, Mikey.
And so I'm, filling it out each week, trying to get stuff on there. I know there's a writing class that's going to be on Sundays for the next 3 weeks for 22 Mohawks. They've got a Stand Up for Heroes comedy event on November 8th for the DAV in Lowell. We've got the WAR episodes each week is Thursday. On the 21st, the VA Bedford has a free produce giveaway. So you can actually go to the VA in Bedford and you can pick up some free produce. They have like a farmer's market they host there on the third Thursday of every month. For veterans and their families, they can come in, just show proof of your veteran status, and you're able to grab the produce you need to pick up for your family. Times are tough. Your wallet is spread, amongst your various utilities, rent, and everything else that's skyrocketed in the last few years. So this is an opportunity for you to pick up some fresh local produce, because eating healthy isn't always eating cheap. So I want to make sure the vets can get out there and do that. We've also got, the Veterans Day events that are going on. I'm sure there'll be more. Right now, I've just got Hidden Battles has a Ruck for Change. They'll be out there collecting change from people as you drive by. They'll be out there with their rucksacks on, and just any spare change you've got in your vehicle. If you can stop by these different collection points, help out Hidden Battles. From a penny to a dollar, any bit will help. And I know that on the 10th, I believe that's a special day for you there, Travis, isn't it? November 10th?
Just a slightly one. It's my birthday. And
yes.
Where I will sing the Marine Corps birthday, my annual singing of the Marine Corps birthday. Super 5.
Yes. And also on that day, 22 Mohawks will be having a veterans speak at the Italian American Club. I'll post more information as it gets closer to that, but they're just giving veterans a chance to be able to get up, be able to share their stories with the community, so that way the community better gets engaged with our veteran community, and each can have a better understanding of where each other stands. And then of course you've got Fall Back. We get an extra hour on the 3rd. I like that. So that's always a good time. And of course the turkey comes very late this year on the 28th. And there's also New England's Helping Our Veterans has an event on the 23rd of November. If you can go to their website and check it out, they are working with another auto company, and they are giving away 4 to 5 vehicles to veterans in need, refurbished used vehicles to be able to help a veteran get from point A to point B. Basically, submit an application explaining, what your situation is, how this would improve your situation. And if you're available on the 23rd of November to receive the winning, if you are chosen for it, definitely, enter this, this situation that could be a real game changer for folks out there.
Packed month, man. Packed month.
So definitely is, and we're looking for more. When I'm not looking to stop just at what we have, present on the calendar. If you guys have events out there, if you guys know of events that are good, please share them with the W.A.R page. Share them with Hellfish Haven. Share them with Oscar Mike Radio. Let us know so we can share your events. Because an event out here in Boston may not be good for the Western Mass folks. A Western Mass event may not be good for the Boston folks, but let's share it all and make sure that everybody is educated on what's going on out there. Let's not make education something to empower ourselves with. Let's make sure that sharing our education as we get it.
Because more is always more.
Absolutely.
Right? I mean, more events, more relationships, more advocacy. Don't think that yours is not important. Get it out there. I just think how different
I'm going
it
to show you guys
was
how
years ago.
easy.
Go ahead, Mikey.
Yep. I just want to show folks how easy the buddy check is too. For an example, like Bill Dufault, we've had him on the show. He watches. He's coming back from a vet-sponsored golf tournament and heading home. But he said he is on a hands-free device, so we can do a quick call to check in to show you guys how this is. So I'm going to put him on speakerphone. Can you guys hear?
I got you 5x5, Mikey.
All right. Hey, Bill, it's Mikey. Hey, just calling you on W.A.R to show, folks how easy it is to just, call a friend that you served with to just check in. So we're just checking in tonight. Me and Travis are here, seeing how you're doing. How's the wife and kid? How are you guys doing?
Life is good. What am I on the air here?
You are. You're live on the air with me and Travis.
Live
here.
and worldwide.
Live and worldwide, as Travis said.
Awesome. Well, you guys keep doing good things, man. I appreciate it. No, all's well with me, man. All's well. Look at place. Actually, just on my way back from a veteran group golf outing down in Iowa.
Excellent. So that was a successful night.
What's that?
That was a successful event.
Yeah, it always is. I don't know if you ever heard of it.
I'll have to have you shoot me their information so we can share it on W.A.R next week.
Yeah, definitely. No, they do a lot of good things. So I just left there, and they actually got some it's their last event of the year. So they had some kind of folks, fellow veterans, who kind of stand up to give some kind of cool stories on how the organization is and so forth. No, I appreciate you checking in. Yeah, everybody's good, man.
Excellent.
He's good. Everybody's life is good. How's it going with you guys?
Sounds great. We're doing good here on this side. Emily's doing some potty training. So we occasionally hear, her yell from the other room, pee or poop, and, a sprint for her little potty. And, she's making it in time. That's, all we can ask for.
That's pretty exciting.
So it's a new phase in life for me to see.
I love it.
All right, Bill, we'll drive safely, and we'll definitely talk soon.
All right, you guys be safe. Keep doing a good thing out there. You guys awesome.
Thanks, brother. We'll talk to you soon. Later.
Yeah, that's
So
really
just
cool. Just checking in. Nothing really heavy duty. Just hey, how you doing? Kids stuff. That's the way it needs to be.
absolutely. And we got David Willis Jr. checking in, giving us a Semper Fi to you, saying his knee surgery went well in recovery phase.
Oh, do that PT, David. Do that PT, brother. Glad you're on the mend.
And we got Mental Restoration checking in. Aloha from the big island of Hawaii. Hello, hello. Must have much nicer weather than we've got out here in New England. I'll say that. And Sam Bath is present from Maxwell Air Force Base. Good
All
evening,
right.
Sam. Sam was my LT on my third tour when we were out in the Anbar province.
Very nice.
And there may or may not be a video somewhere out there of me giving him a birthday lap dance when we were in Iraq.
I'd like to see that.
So that may be out there somewhere. Someone might have a copy of it. I'm not going to admit to having a copy of it myself, but someone might have a copy of it somewhere. And then again, you just give somebody a call. You shoot somebody a text. I did that earlier. Jose, it's okay, buddy. You need a buddy check? Here you go, bud. There's a little food for Jose. Now let's see how the buddy check went with the text message. So simple text message. Guy on the fourth tour that I went on to Kuwait in 2012. We were going to go to Afghanistan. Wound up in Kuwait due to the drawdown in Afghanistan. So I, sent Dan a message. Simply, buddy check. How you doing? Said, I'm doing good, my friend. How are you? Doing great. Love to, have you on the podcast sometime. Give my best to the fam. Just short and simple. Something just letting folks know that, you're thinking about them, that they
So
matter,
important.
that,
So important.
they're not lost in the sauce.
No, for sure. For sure.
Oh boy. And it looks like somebody has found the video of me and the lieutenant, and he says it's still horrifying. Yes, Jeremy understands the those E4s doing the E4 thing and making sure they can't get in trouble for anything that doesn't exist. Our squad got called in for many night ops to fix situations that were deemed unfixable, such as a door broke, for instance, during a time at a base. And in the late evening, after another group had left, we had to do a quick door swap where we, took a nice door and we put the broken door where the other unit was. And just made that when we checked out, to go, and, I think fell back on our soldiers, making sure, we were taken care of.
Well, it sounds like effective asset allocation of things that you can control, Mikey. I'm sure your
Mental
lieutenant captain
restorations
appreciated that.
absolutely. And mental restoration is also checking in, getting involved with the buddy checks years ago, text calls in person, whatever it takes. Definitely mental restoration. If you guys want to share our website link, we can pop that up there and share with our viewers. We'd love to send folks your direction.
Well, I think it's really important to do this buddy check and draw importance to it because, we're finding out more and more that isolation and loneliness are precursors to, suicide and suicidal ideation. So if you don't feel alone, if you don't feel cut off, if you don't feel isolated, you're way ahead of the game. And people can slip through the cracks. I mean, there's a lot going on. Sometimes you don't think about it, but all it takes is a couple minutes.
Absolutely.
And you could be really, making someone's day who's going through a hard time or just needs to celebrate a victory with you.
That's the biggest thing too, is, that you see it, something may seem small and not really, that's significant to yourself, but to that person that's going through a trouble and is having a tough time, that it really does mean the world. Like, I know my points when I've been isolating myself and putting things like that, that it has made it to the point where, like, getting a simple phone call from folks and being able to share, what's going on does make a difference and really, can push you out of that funk that you're in.
Right.
And so here's Mental Restoration's website. You guys get a chance, send them a share and a follow. It doesn't cost anything to like our fellow nonprofits, websites. So, to follow them and see what they got going on. And, be able to get that, education from, wherever the resources is. Like we've said, W.A.R has gone worldwide. We're here, there. We're not just serving folks in Massachusetts. We want to make sure that we can, educate and entertain the masses wherever they are.
Absolutely. And, everybody can do something about this. It doesn't have to be in one location or one nonprofit or one group. Everybody can pitch in. And if we get enough people, we're going to get a really positive outcome. And we're going to make change on a real foundational level that people haven't seen before. So it's really exciting to do this.
Absolutely. One of the big things that they talked about during the summit that was held on Tuesday with the director, the Department of VA, the head of the Department of the VA was on there and talked about, the small, not so much grassroots, but the small local events that happen, the veteran coffee hours, the socials, the family game nights that we try to do with Hellfish Haven and other organizations. Basically, if you've got the space, Hellfish Haven's willing to come out and set up. We've got indoor games, outdoor games, just games that are family friendly. And then we can also do trivia nights. We could do a movie night, whatever you guys are trying to do. We're here to support it. We want to be able to make sure that veterans have that safe, sober environment to gather. We've lost so many legions and VFWs over the past 10, 15 years that have closed their doors. That's making it more and more that veterans aren't sure where to turn to. That if we can use other organizations and other businesses to be able to host these nights, monthly or bi-weekly, to create some sort of atmosphere where veterans feel comfortable and they can turn to. That's the biggest thing that we want to do with Hellfish Haven is have that environment and have that place for them to go to.
For certain.
And like, as you've seen with, I got your 6, 2 lives at once, it's so simple how it starts, but it's very difficult to get things up and running. And it's very difficult to reach people and for people to find that right information. So we just want to continue to provide, when we find a resource, we'll post it on Hellfish Haven's resources. And, and if you ever see that something's, a dead link or, a website changes or an organization isn't as dependable as they were, let us know and, we'll remove them. We don't want to be sharing something that isn't helpful to the community. I know not tonight, but in a future episode, I do want to talk about, the changes in like Home Base. For example, Home Base, Foundation is a great organization. I've, raised funds for them. I've, promoted them. I've shared their success and their mission over the years. But recently, the way that they've been changing how they've been dealing with, soldiers and dealing with their mental health care, I haven't been fond of. So as I continue to, research more into it and talk to the, the higher ups in the organization and find out exactly what is going on and what is the, the word from above being passed on to, the social workers and the therapists, and that's coming directly to the veterans, what is actually happening, because I don't want to put out anything out there and be mad at a company or be, sharing their organization if they're not actually doing what, their website's saying or what, what's being, said at the other events. I want to make sure that, we're holding these organizations to the standard that they need to be at. That, if you're saying that you're doing this, we want to make sure it's happening.
Well, I think you have a great point, Mike. Is you, the donor, the advocate, the interested third party, have the ability, have the power to ask a chairman of the board, ask a founder, executive director, hey, you got X number of dollars last year in donations. Where's that gone? And they can try to tell you no, but they're not supposed to. It's supposed to be completely transparent. And if they won't tell you, well, that should throw off, a huge warning sign that something's not right. They should be happy that a person, anybody, is interested and engaged and wanting to understand what they're doing. So, if you have a good story to tell as a provider, you can get more support. So when someone doesn't want to, engage with you, that's bad. But you don't have to be us. You don't have to be an auditor. You can be a citizen, a concerned American wanting to know what's going on and take control and affect change.
Like I know, one organization that I had a real tough time with is Homes for Our Troops. I went and I worked at Homes for Our Troops for a little while, and working with them and being at the organization and seeing how things were done. I was a community outreach coordinator, so my job was to set up the events, the key ceremony, set up the the groundbreaking ceremony, set up the when the veteran gets the home, and get all these different organizations to come together for the event, and to get volunteers, to get the Army band or the Marine Corps band out there to be able to celebrate and help these severely wounded veterans get these homes. But what I started seeing was they were looking for homes in places that weren't always what the veteran was requesting. For instance, this isn't an exact situation, but this is just so people can understand. Like if a veteran's family and everything was in Boston, and then they're looking and they're getting a house out in Western Mass, out in Holyoke, because it's cheaper to build out there, and cost of living, everything else, they've got a donated property, they've got donated materials, everything. They've got a GC that's gonna do the whole thing and as a tax write-off, and all of a sudden they have all these items. And then they're pushing the veteran to go out to Holyoke, where they're, further away from their family, they're away from their support system. And it's, that I really didn't like seeing. And then, after that all happened, they were taking each of these severely disabled veterans it's almost 100,000, if not over 100,000 now, for a grant to repair or build a home that fits their disability, whether it's widening doorways, putting in like a shower that you can take your wheelchair into, things like that. All those different areas, and being able to have that there, that should be for the veteran. But
Right,
Homes for Our
right.
Troops was making the veteran sign that $100,000 grant over to them, in exchange for the house that they were getting. And what I was seeing was the cost of the house was only costing the organization $10,000 to $12,000 in the end to make, because all of the donations of materials, all the donations of labor, all the the people that sign up to volunteer and help out, and then they're taking in 100,000, putting out 12, and the math wasn't adding up. And that's something that veteran can never apply for again. They can apply for that once in their life, that grant. And so if something else happens, or their disability, gets more severity and grows, that they have to, do more changes, whether it's, make their kitchen lower so they're able to reach countertops, things like that. They don't have that grant to fall back onto. So like, that's one thing that I really didn't like. And they were hiding that on like their second or third page on the website. It really wasn't transparent that that's what was going on. And so that's one thing that I've seen that I really don't like, when you see that, and you see, that they're taking from the veteran instead of, giving out to the veteran.
I really hate that. When you take what is the veterans and use it to further your own business initiatives, or you line your own pocket, that to me is especially heinous, unacceptable. and people get away with it all the time. And so again, like you're saying, Mike, don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to dig and look. Don't be afraid to look at their 990 or 990N filing and see what's going on, because no veteran should have to give away their earned benefit.
Yeah, we got Dolan checking in. He's got great things going on over there. His organization, we had him on last year, and since then, just, sharing the love and making sure everything's going on. He's checking in tonight with the buddy check-in as well. Mental restoration, we'll definitely check in off the live feed for that. Like I said, I try not to make these evening chats and these discussions that we have with everybody. We want to try to keep them as positive as we can. Occasionally, there is some negative things that come up and we have to share it, but we try to be as positive as we can here on the podcast. So, because there's so many other, podcasts and things out there that are just about the negative, that are reinforcing and pushing that information out there, that we want to make sure that, we're sharing powerful resources that include the positivity, like we share, Travis's, show that follows us each night. And who do you got this evening, Travis?
I have retired Marine Corps Major Garrett Biss. He flew KC-130s, C-130s, excuse me, C-130s in the Marine Corps, and then struggled with alcohol addiction, and then talked about how he worked through it, got out, and started his own, recovery coaching, and really, inspiring, what this person's been able to do. And it's not just you're hearing somebody talk, it's somebody who's lived it and had to, is now taking what they've learned and sharing with somebody else. So really exciting stuff.
Excellent. And like we said, it's always, oh boy, I just got an image from the dance that I spoke of earlier. So I will give,
nothing disappears.
There is a very white boy on your screen right now. If you look up, Travis.
Oh my God! Nothing goes away.
Nope. What do they say? The internet's forever.
Internet is forever.
Mental restorations. Some things going on for Veterans Day. Anything you've got in the chamber right now, Travis?
Oh wow. We have Abington celebrates veterans. Wednesday, November 6th. I think it's November 6th. It's 2 hours for veterans in the town of Abington, and then some other things going on. The usual veteran stuff: Veterans Day Parade in Abington, Whitman, Rockland on Veterans Day, Marine Corps birthday, November 10th. Hoorah! It's kind of becoming like Veterans Month for me. It used to be just one day, and I'm really happy to see that people are interested in, really making a celebration out of it and trying their best to, recognize and honor veterans. I know nothing's perfect, but it's a lot better than it was, and I just love it. I really appreciate what everybody does.
And so what I spoke about earlier, 22 Mohawks is having a veteran speak. Their flyer says, "All veterans have a story. Some don't know how to tell it. We will teach you." In honor of Veterans Day, 22 Mohawks is excited to present a special event featuring 10 veterans who will share their compelling stories with family, friends, and the community. Each veteran will have 10 minutes to share a meaningful part of their life journey. If you're interested in participating, please apply by filling out a form on the events page at 22mohawks.com. They look forward to having vets join them on this day for an impactful day of connection. And that's going to be at the Italian American Club in Walpole, Mass, 10 to 1400, Sunday, November 10th.
Very nice.
So that'll be good to see, events like that allow the community to better engage the veterans and better understand the story of what's going on. I feel, anytime that happens is a positive note, because, we are so far removed from the time of, back in Afghanistan, of having two wars going on at once, and there being, somebody had a cousin, a friend, or somebody that was, involved in everything, that now you don't see that connection as much. So you just want to make sure that, people know that these veterans are still out there and they're still having, issues that they're, working through from their time in service. And we want to let them know that we as a country still have their back, out of uniform as we did in the uniform.
So Tholen asked, True Travis, what do you think is contributing to the increase of veteran appreciation? I'm not sure. Okay, glass half full. It's all good. It's all great. We've had 20 years of 9/11, OEF, IAF, and Call of Duty and things like that. And so people are exposed to it now, per se. Glass half empty. The cynic in me is like, oh yeah, some of these businesses, can write this off as against their taxes, and so it's just an easy PR win that doesn't really cost them a whole lot. I really think that all PR is good PR. So if someone is interested in supporting veterans in any way, great. And all we can do as veterans is keep sounding the bell that we're here. We're not going away. We have value, and we can add value to the community. We can add value to your company, and we can add value to wherever we are and whatever we're doing. So I don't know if that answers your question, but that's kind of how I interpret it. I could complain. Now, I mean, I'm always happy to complain. I'm a Marine Corps veteran, so the only time my leadership ever got worried about is when we stopped complaining. So I just can't be all rosebuds and feather beds. I get a little hate and discontent in there too.
Absolutely. And, they shared some information below about organizations. I am going to copy and paste a couple of them here in the chat as Fibro Mental Health. We've worked with them on Instagram several times, sharing information for events that they have and events coming back with us. All right, what was Tholen's original question, so I can make sure everyone hit it right?
What do you think? What do you think is contributing
to the increase of appreciation?
Yeah.
The biggest thing, is that being able to, not just be a story, twice a year, Memorial Day and Veterans Day, that, these stories are being shared, as events happen. Organizations are having, interactions with the community, with, the family members, with the caregivers, with the first responders. We've opened up, and we're not, some organizations out there in the nonprofit world focus just on, Marine, special forces, or, Navy SEALs only, or, Delta operators, or they just limit themselves to that, and that's all they work on. And that's great for some organizations, but seeing other organizations be able to open up to the community, and they're working with veterans, they're working with first responders, they're working with all these folks that are in need of, mental health assistance. I think that's one thing, the view of mental health has really, changed, and, people accepting that, it is something that's affecting all of us. And I think COVID played a lot in that, where people understood the mind fuck of, us being by ourselves with everything shutting down, how much isolation can fuck with somebody. And I think, that really did open the doors to say, what these veterans are going through and what people are dealing with PTSD and with, mental health issues has, come up. He's okay, buddy. Come here. Come say hello, Jose. Come here. Jose just wants to say hi real quick.
Of course, we got to have Jose wants to say hi. Oh, there he is.
There he is, buddy. Good boy. You can tell that, when I get excited about a topic, and mic goes up and everything like that. Check in, make sure it's not tech coming. It's not something that's that's bad. It's just I'm passionate about a subject, so and he's making sure that he alerts me to the situation that's happening. So, and he's a very great service dog in that aspect of helping me out when I'm not always paying attention to my own mental health and my own well-being. That having him around to be able to do that for me has helped me tenfold. And I'd recommend anybody out there that is having similar issues to go out there and to speak to different organizations, to talk to Travis offline and see more information about I Got Your Six, 2 Lives at Once, and see the advantages of having a service dog and getting involved in this. And if you go to the VA and you speak with your primary care, they can actually set up in your information to recommend you for a service dog for your mental health. And with that, the VA will actually help take care of costs of having a service dog. And that is a huge thing, because that's one thing that does stop people from getting dogs is the cost that it incurs. I mean, Jose's a 60, 70 pound dog. That's not, cheap every month to keep him fed.
Right.
So, and then, the vet bills, as they come along are very easy. So it's always good to have, help out there from, Uncle Sam, if he's willing to give it. Dolan, what do you think is leading to it? What have you seen that's creating the uptake in veteran support and care?
Well, I think, like I said, I think glass half full is there's been this huge focus on awareness. I think it's the old adage where, a person has to see something 7 times for it to sink in. And, we've heard nothing but 22 a day, 22 a day, 22 a day for, over 10 years now. So it sinks in with people. And I think also, talking with a buddy of mine, when we were in, social media wasn't really a thing. Cell phones weren't really a thing, but I mean, you can, from the time you leave boot camp to the time you leave the military, post about your military service online every day if you want, almost every aspect. I mean, there's certain MOSs that are very restricted, but you can show what the life is like and what you're going through. So people see it more than what they did in World War II, the Vietnam War, and when we were in, right? So I think that's contributing to it. And, you look at Ukraine, you look at North Korea, you look at other parts of the world where they don't have a strong military, or, they can't project strength. And it reminds people that, hey, we don't get attacked that much. We've got it pretty freaking good here. So, and then I think it's the veterans themselves. People have started paying attention to the fact that, wow, okay, maybe you weren't in special forces, maybe you weren't a Navy SEAL, but this, Army sergeant, this Marine Corps corporal, this Navy, petty officer, chief petty officer is absolutely crushing it in my workforce right now. What do they have that other people don't, who've been to college, advanced degrees, so on and so forth, and they want to capture that. So I think it's a combination of things. And I think, none of it's bad. I know some of the older veterans get kind of irritated seeing all these new veterans get all this attention, but I'm like, well, we can't fix the past, but a lot of work done by you all is making sure it never happens again.
Well, Dolan, I hope we were able to answer your question there for you. How we're seeing things go on, and it's definitely great to have the interaction from you guys. 40 minutes have gone by like that tonight. Like, like I said, if you get the chance to go onto the VA's website and and sign up for the buddy check, and take the pledge to reach out to 10 of your fellow servicemen and women. Like I said, whether it's a simple text, whether it's a phone call, a voicemail, anything that's out there. And one thing that I saw that I believe it was the director of Vets for Warriors. He was talking about how they're they're reaching out and they're building an ambassador program to the different states because they're out of Rutgers in New Jersey, but they want to make sure to be able to reach out to other states and other organizations. So the director was out there, sharing his information, sharing the fight that they're going through and how they're doing things. And one thing he said was, when you see people posting on like somebody's LinkedIn, for example, like congratulations on a new job, when it gives you the prompt to congratulate a person on a new experience or a new promotion or they completed school, don't just say congratulations and the generic comment, go ahead and dig a little deeper for a few minutes and personalize it. Congratulations on, accepting the security position as the new, head of the department for XYZ. Congratulations on, 10 years, of, working at this organization and being promoted to the head of the department now. If you just reach a little bit in and give that little extra, insight showing that it's not just a generic prompt that you're putting out there, that you're, that you care about that person to put that little effort in there to reach out and let them know that you really are out there following them and following their story.
I like Thulon's response here. Veterans are opening up and people are getting better of understanding what veterans go through. I think you're absolutely right, and I think things like social media, veterans, books, podcasts, shows certainly make it more accessible to people who are interested in it. So and I agree with you, Thulon. It's a combination. It's not just one thing. It's a lot of other things working together and people all wanting the same thing for their brothers and sisters in arms. All right, Mikey, I've got to RTB the AO and get ready for Oscar Mike Radio, like how I did that. But
absolutely. You want to give it another plug of who you got on again for those that weren't here earlier in the evening?
Sure. It is number. It's going to make a liar out of me. 1 second. Make sure you get the right one. Wow, 2024 is almost over. Number 419 with Garrett Biss, Marine Corps C-130 pilot, recovery specialist with a very interesting story coming up here in about 16 minutes.
Excellent. Now, please tell me that for episode 420, you worked with one of these cannabis companies in Massachusetts to make it for your next episode.
Actually, 420 is special. I talked to a major who, she was a lieutenant at the time, but we were in the same battalion, different batteries together. She's a hawker and has a very cool story, and there's not that many of us, so it was a special treat getting to talk with her.
All right. I'm just going to hit these last two comments here, and then we will sign off. Sam said, I see a lot of leaders, coming into mental health and being involved in it. That's definitely helping when your leadership channels are promoting mental health and allowing the stigma to be, non-existent in their companies. That, definitely pushes things a lot further than it would be back in the day when, we were supposed to suck it up and drive on. And this other comment, the peer-to-peer, I see smaller groups making the biggest impacts. I see some extremely large, well-funded groups taking advantage of the works done by the smaller and obtaining the funding. Definitely, that's a big thing that's happening is, the peer support, I believe, is the largest thing that, that we at Hellfish Haven do that makes an impact. When I have guys call me and I do the one-on-one talks and, anybody from a first sergeant to, a private, I've reached out and talked to every one of them. And, if anybody has something that they want to talk about and discuss, we're here to do it. And there's organizations that are out there. If I can't help you with it, I'm going to point you in the right direction of somebody that can. So once again, thanks everybody for joining us tonight. Check in on your friends that you haven't heard from in a while. Make sure everybody's doing well. It's great to hear from you all tonight, and look forward to hearing you guys again next week on Halloween.
We are resilient. We are WAR.
Yes.
Thank you, Mike.